Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Yes, and today we're going to go through why CEX is actually good. Yes, of course, with everything that's good, there's also some bad. So stay tuned, of course, for next week where I'll be going through why CEX is actually bad. But today, I've got 5 things of why I think CEX is actually a really good thing for physical media. So, of course, we all know what CEX is, but if you don't know what CEX is, you know, from a physical media point of view, I can walk in there with any bundle of films that I don't want, you know, a couple of films here, give them to somebody over the counter, they will go through them, make sure the discs are all good, and basically then they will pay me either in cash or a in-store voucher for credit, and then I can spend that on other things that people have traded in. So it is a resale, trading in kind of store, a bit of a, you know, kind of a, you basically, it's like trading in items. Everything in there is used, nothing is brand new, and all of that. I think one of the biggest things for me of why I really like a CEX store is obviously for the video point of view, but it is a brand, I think, that basically solidifies itself as being on the high street. I don't think CEX would actually work just being in like a warehouse on a thing. It turns into like a music magpie kind of thing there. And we've seen that happen now with Holland and the Netherlands. They've actually, I did a video on that where they've done a statement to say that from the end of June, they're basically getting rid of all of their Netherlands, Holland stores, and they're pulling out of the retail space and just going online only, which it turns into a music magpie kind of thing, which for me is really negative. For instance, if you go into a store and you want to buy a steelbook, if you order this online through CEX, you know it's used, you want to check to make sure it doesn't have a spine slash, it doesn't have any dents. You want to make sure that it's a really nice, you know, steelbook. And similar, you might want to check if it's actually got a cover reprint, or if it's actually got, you know, a slip cover. You might want to check, and then again, you might want to just check the actual quality when you're in the store. So all of these were bought at CEX, but I was able to go into the store, check, and make sure. And I think that's why it's really good. Fortunately for the Netherlands, obviously, that, you know, not having a store presence is a negative thing in my opinion. But you know, for me, it's one of the biggest benefits for CEX that I can buy something that's used at a discounted price that you might not even be able to get in some places, like some, you know, things like steelbooks. You can't get them all the time, but if there is one in stock, you know, you can then check, make sure it's good condition and all that. So having a store presence is really good. The other benefit of why I think CEX is really good, especially for physical media collectors, is money is instant. If I wanted to one day, I've said this before, but if I ever wanted to one day completely sell my collection, I could bag all this up, walk into a CEX store, and they would give me money for all of it. That is the benefits of just physical media, obviously, because of a digital movie collection, I most definitely couldn't do that. But it's a benefit because it's a source of income there straight away for somebody who has a big collection that, you know, might need money straight away for whatever reason. Of course, there's that fallback there, you know, in terms of I can get some money back for my collection. The same thing doesn't really go for Funko Pops. They don't take Funko Pops and stuff like that. This is where you can maybe go to like a cash generators, but CEX very much just specializes in media or electronics. So anything like that, you're definitely more beneficial going to CEX, in my opinion, to get that instant cash or credit if that's something you're looking for. The other thing is really interesting is competitive pricing in CEX. They do up their prices, you know, when like the PlayStation 5 come out, of course, they do put their prices up to the scalper level, you know, in line with the market, which some people have a real opinion of, I guess. I personally don't. I think it's a good thing they do that because, you know, if they, you know, it gives an opportunity for them to make a bit more money. You know, everyone else is doing it, so why shouldn't they? They have a lot more overheads as well than other people with the store and all that. And doing that might actually give them more, like, you know, to be able to stay open for the next couple of months, for instance. You never know. So I think, you know, the competitive pricing side of things is really good. Don't get me wrong, there's some things in CEX, you know, where there's some examples where Ip Man 2 for me in Incombran is just labelled wrong when it scans differently. So there is things and improvements they can make in terms of their pricing, which they've started to do, especially in the London stores now. They've got like digital labels in the cabinets, not the actual like physical labels, because those prices can be updated on the fly, obviously linked to the web, and we're starting to see that in supermarkets and stuff in general. So yeah, there's improvements they can make there. Some things as well are really expensive, but you know, CEX will only go by, you know, major retailers and the used market. So if the used market is, you know, astronomical for a specific item, let's just say a steelbook is really overpriced, then they're going to upcharge it. Look at 28 days later, look at 28 weeks later. It is expensive because it is in high demand, and they have a right to do that, and I'm all for that. I think it's good that they do that, to be honest. The benefit benefits of that is also, if they sell things at a high price, they also then pay and buy things at a high price. So you as a consumer who wants to trade something in can get a bit more, and you haven't got to deal with like potentially selling it on Facebook or on eBay or Vinted. You can just get a bit more money, and then they can do the hard work and get that extra bit on top. The fourth thing that I have wrote down here of why I like CEX and why I think it's good is the web tool. So the web tool is really good. If you've never used it, you can basically go on, you can search anything you want. So let's just say now I'm going to search for the Equalizer 2 here. I'm going to search for the 4K version of this, and I want to see what stores it's in. I can actually go on there, I can say check stores, and I can go down that list and I can see all the stores that this is in. It doesn't say things like if it's a cover reprint, if it has a slip, if it doesn't, if it does. And obviously for steelbooks, it also won't say if it's like A, B or C grade, which we need to have grading on this, but yes. But, you know, for the most part, if you want to find a particular movie and you're like, I don't know which way to go, and you can see it in your local store, you can find out if it's in stock before you actually visit the store, which is a real plus. That just saves a lot of time, doesn't it? A lot of effort and all of that. It actually just, you know, for me anyway, do my Blu-ray hunting videos, it shapes a lot of what I want to do sometimes, because it's like, if there's something in stock in a particular place, I'll go there and make my video around that area and place, because it just makes sense, because that's what I want to go and look for. So yeah, the web tool is really good and very, very beneficial. Not many stores do that, obviously, you know, in terms of giving you so much detail. Even HMV's one is pretty good, but it doesn't give you like 1 in stock or 5 in stock. It literally gives you like, you know, there's a few or limited or whatever, and sometimes it doesn't even work recently. So CEX definitely do the web tool, like live stock tracking, much better in my opinion. And then the final one, I got 5 things, but the final one that I really like about CEX for me is the locations. There's so many good locations for me. I have about 7 CEX stores that are within a 20-mile radius from my house, which is why I'm always in so many different places in my Blu-ray hunting videos, because I have so many stores to cover. I literally in some videos can go to 2 stores in one video, because they're just so close to each other and they're all just so fresh, and there's just so much going on. Similar with London, I've done a video going down London. You can go from store to store to store, and you can have a real fun day out, I think, going to a CEX store as a physical media lover, because you just don't know what you're going to find. Of course, you can use that stock checker, like I said, sometimes I do for certain things that I'm looking for, but a lot of the time I just love the element of surprise. Last week I went to London and walking into the store and seeing this on the shelf, a very much out of print 4K there for £30 on the shelf, was a massive surprise, and I didn't expect to pick it up, but it was a nice surprise nonetheless, and of course I grabbed it. So it is a really good thing, you know, to be able to like just go into a store, have a look around and all of that. And if you've got so many in close proximities, it just makes that even better. I just wish that there was one in my actual town, because I could walk to it. I'd probably be there every day, but it'd still be really cool. Yeah, so that's just 5 things I wrote down of why I think CEX is actually good for physical media. And of course next week I'll go through the bad things that I think CEX implements in physical media, and some of the practices that maybe they do that I disagree with. So stay tuned for that. If you like what you see and you're interested to find that out, of course please do subscribe down below, and of course there's a QR code on the screen there if you want to scan that. If you're watching me on your telly, get your phone out, scan the QR code, and you can subscribe there and then on your phone. It is that easy. But thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next one coming soon, of course, and I'll see you then. Goodbye guys.